guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks. So I've been thinking a little bit more and more about, what's been going on. Oh, this woman is going to stand out right in front of me. I've been thinking a little bit more and more about what's been going on during COVID and why people find it so difficult. I've been working from home since Beau was diagnosed because I never knew if he would ever be independent, toilet trained, verbal, all of those sorts of things. So I knew that if I ever wanted to make money, I would have to do it from home. So for me, once the kids started going to school, I've been alone at home 24 hours, 7 days a week until the kids come home. But what I've realized is that with the extra time, with work not being as busy as it usually is, and with curfews and with restrictions on kilometers and all these sorts of things, the reason that mental health has been such an issue, I think, for so many people, is that it really gives us time to think. It really gives us time to think about the relationships in our lives. And whether it be current, past, or history, well done, Gemma. Whether it be current or past, and we really get the time to dissect the things, any traumas that have happened to us over our lives, the relationships that we currently have, why they are the way they are, how they got the way they are, what we wish they would have turned out to be. And I think that this period of time where we are spending so much time alone is really sort of forcing us to reevaluate how happy we are with the people who play roles in our life, or even who we are ourselves. Now, I have had to learn to love myself from a very young age. Not because I wasn't loved, but because I'm a very specific personality. I always have been a very, very specific personality. And, it takes a lot to take this on. Girls didn't like me. I'm generally not liked by girls, certainly not at school, and very definitely not the wives or partners of friends who I've known for 30 odd years. So my friends were always boys. They always have been boys. I found them, girls are really high maintenance at school. They're very cliquey. They like to tell me who to be friends with, who not to be friends with. That never really settled with me, that, just because someone wasn't part of our group. So I was much more of a drifter, much more of a floater. And people had their ideas about me, whatever that happened to be. But I had to learn, and I tried so hard to change who I was for so long, for the approval, the acceptance of others. Whether that be family members, majoritively family members, trying to gain approval, trying to be, loved just for who I was. And then, I learned much faster that if a friend wasn't happy with the type of person I was pretty happy not to have that friend in my life. So friends are very different, and that really didn't sort of bother me. That it was sort of, I remember coming to a point and thinking, you know what, I don't mind it. If I'm too much, or if you're not into it or whatever, be gone. I'm really happy to have a much smaller set of circle of friends than be, you know, try to be who you want me to be. That is a much harder thing to do with family, especially, you know, parental figures, because, you know, all little girls, they talk about, you know, all little boys being mummy's boys and all little girls being, you know, daddy's girls and whatever it happens to be. But there is a point when, you know, you have to choose you and who you are and stop trying so hard for that approval. And that's with partners as well. And so when Beau was born and when he was diagnosed and we didn't fit into that box of normal, you know, and things weren't easy. Not that parenting, I think, is ever easy, which is why we have a ridiculous amount of overdiagnosis, because parenting and discipline is just basically gone out the window. But parenting is hard. And I think, you know, grandparents especially really love being grandparents because it's all care, no responsibility. But when you've got an ASD kid, all that care isn't there. So I had to, you know, I had my kids at 27. I had Beau at 27. I was pretty young. And so I really had to learn to love who I was on my own for very early. And I think that this is a journey that maybe a few of us are going through. I think this is a journey that is causing a lot of mental health problems. And, you know, my kids, you know, I was watching the news the other night about, you know, kids, the opposition leader who was just, in my opinion, being ridiculous, regardless of politics. But they were talking about mental health, kids and mental health, and now, you know, playgrounds are closed down and our kids can't go out. My kids are doing fine, I've got to say. I mean, Beau never went to the playground anyway, and Finn's, you know, I am a very involved mother, and I know for a lot of parents who aren't used to that, parents who are used to going off to work and not being so hands-on all the time involved with their kids, would find it extremely difficult and trying. But I think that a lot of ASD parents sort of, if it's not both, whether it's one or the other, you know, are really quite used to that intensive hands-on time with their kids. I've always had to be extremely creative when it came to teaching Beau how to do certain things. So it's not difficult for me to become creative to keep Finn entertained. But I want to talk about your mental health and my mental health, because I've been going through this too. I mean, clearly, if you've been watching my posts over the last few days or weeks, you know, I'm really reevaluating and reassessing the way that people have been treating me and that I have been allowing people to treat me. So let's not get confused between people are people and I should allow them to, you know, I should accept them for who they are, and if they're an asshole, then, well, they're just an asshole to me and that's okay. It's not. I have to choose. I have to make the choice about whether or not, as hard as it is, I want those people, I will allow those people to treat me that way for the rest of my life. Because the truth is, as hard as it is to cut those people out of your life or limit, and look, in some cases there's no choice there. It has to be a cut. In some cases do not get to choose whether it's going to be, look, I'm just going to limit the amount I see you, and therefore the amount of times that you make me feel like shit and I go home crying, or it's, you know what, every single time that we are together, I end up feeling horrible. And I think that a lot of this mental health stuff that's coming up during COVID is, you know, that we are stuck with our families, we are stuck with our bubbles. And the really sad or scary thing is that we therefore start assessing, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling so crap all the time? You know, is it that I'm not used to being alone? Is it that I'm not comfortable being just with me? Or is it that when I am alone and when I am just with me, am I thinking about, you know, or am I being influenced or spoken to by people around me that are what I would call poisonous? And I just want you to take some time to realize that the choices that we have are not who these people are. We cannot change other people or who they are. They can change us if we allow them to, but it is our choice. And often relationships are addictions. Often we become addicted to the idea of a relationship as opposed to the actual relationship that we're in. And I'm not just talking romantic relationships here. And as ASD parents and carers, I think one of the really important things, and one of the things that has really been shown, is that we've realized that a lot of people that should have been there for us weren't. And then how far back did that go in reality? Were they there for us as children? Were they there for us as adolescents? Were they there for us, you know? And there's a resentment and an anger that builds up. And this may not apply to you at all, but it's really worth having a think about, in my opinion, because it's certainly something that's coming up for me at the moment, and it might just be something that's well worth having a think or a chat or a vent with a best friend, or even me, guys. Like, seriously, I love your messages. You know, I get back to you always as much as I possibly can. So yeah, just give me a message, a text, whatever you want, and really evaluate why you're feeling your mental health is the way it is, because you may be set free. You may actually get set free by doing this. Anyway, guys, ASD rocks, all like that. And yeah, I love you guys. I love the community that we've made. I love your supporting me. I love to support you. And I hope this goes on forever. I really do. All right. See ya.